This is part 2 of 2.
And let's talk power and placement for a moment. In real life, we found the CLC65 to be able to deliver that deep bass pressure up to around extremely respectable 100 dB SPL before any audible compression start to occur. Naturally, the CLC65 requires some power to get all from it, as the sensitivity is in the mid-80s. Impedance-wise, it dips gently to around 3 ohms, 4 ohms nominal, so it requires some powerful amplification to get everything out of it. We tested it with the house reference amps like the Linkdorf MXA 8400 and even gave it a spin with a 1984 NAD 3020E integrated 25 watt amplifier. Check this video to hear what happened in 40 years. At Gato headquarters, we played on a complete Gato setup.
So welcome to the company listening room. Today we are playing a Roon server that we feed into our CDD1, which is a CD player and DAC, fully balanced, into our Pre-1, fully balanced analog preamplifier, and into our two monoblocks, the PWR222. These are Class A/B, what we call twin-fed amplifiers, and they will deliver about 250 watt 8 ohm and just below 504 ohm.
Wow. Beefy little dudes. What is going on here behind the speaker? These are working prototypes, or are they actually finished? Or
These are almost finished working prototypes.
okay.
That we're gonna listen to today.
Perfect.
With your team.
Can't wait.
No.
Sebastian, are you ready?
So ready.
Needless to say, they really thrive with the potent control power of the PWR222 unfolding into a addictive listening session. I would note that a speaker going as low as the 65s here can interact in the extreme with room mode's very low frequencies.
Bada-boom.
In some cases, EQ or room correction will be necessary to tame the lowest frequencies. We found the best imaging by having the tweeters on the outside, giving us a little more powerful sidewall reflections.
It means incredibly also here, damn it, man. It's wild. It's a completely different speaker now. The soundscape has become much larger. Yes, and the accordion is much clearer than it was before, where it was, and likewise his voice. It's incredible what it can change. That we, boop.
The major aspect of the CLC65 sound is that it's so very neutral and distortion-free. It simply adds no color. This is where the team's immediate reactions differs, as distortion-free neutrality has two distinct side effects that we confirm again and again in our sonic travels. Extremely low distortion simply makes you play louder.
I kept thinking more. Yeah, it's again, I call it politeness, but it's not. It's very little in your face, so it's very not much shoutiness. So you can turn it up, and it doesn't feel like you're being assaulted by the sound in any way. If you're used to that distortion and that the underlines the aggression of how loud you're playing,
yeah,
it becomes part of it. But the purists will say, get rid of the distortion, let me hear just what I need to hear. Kind of you miss the involvement of that.
Yeah.
They seem very revealing, and that could be a good characteristic if you want to show me what's happening, tell me what's just happening, and don't stand in the way of any information.
Yeah.
So in that sense, they deliver very truthfully.
2. Very natural sounding speakers can initially feel a little boring, especially when comparing them with more colored, excited speakers side by side. The latter is actually perfectly demonstrated here with Patricia. Wow.
Wow.
That's such a cool track.
It's super real. It's not, it's more, I don't really have the feeling of being blown away. It seems a little bit more that you're watching something. So maybe they're a little bit dry in the sound.
Yeah.
But it's a super good speaker, no
Yeah.
doubts.
It's something we have experienced before with other very low distortion neutral speakers like the 20,000 euro Linkdorf Q100, the 4,000 euro Radiant Acoustics Clarity 6.2s, and also the enormous 70,000 euro 5-way active Genelec 8381A. The interesting observation is that they also tend to grow and grow on you over time as the musical quality of neutrality reveals itself.
First
impression. Maybe it worked. Didn't seem so overwhelming to me. But I must say that the longer we played, the more it won. They have an incredibly wide soundstage, and they have good depth and stereo perspective. It is also fantastic, and they can go insanely deep. You hear things that you don't hear on other speakers.
They are very accurate.
Neutral. They don't jump out like the Daily Epicor 11, which I was really crazy about when we tested them. So this one is a bit more subdued, and they play fantastic with the deep bass and with voices and more acoustic things.
You don't get that elevated bass or ear-fatiguing coloring or aggressive or excited mid-range here. Instead, the recipe is purity, competence, precision, clarity, and smoothness. And with the CLC 65, you get real sub-bass performance and a whole new level of top-end smoothness combined with great dispersion characteristics on top of that. If you decide to try out a pair of CLC 65 yourself, make sure that you give them a couple of weeks with your full music repertoire. In my experience, very few speakers are equally great with all types of music, but these do not feel like a compromise, no matter the genre to me. Personally, it actually mirrors precisely my experience with the Clarity 6.2 that I found to be kind of boring at first. And now it's one of my favorite go-to speakers.
It is sold directly from our website, and we ship directly to you, and we do that worldwide. The shipping cost is included in the price. You have a 30 days home trial period where you unpack the speakers, you play them, and you make sure that this is the right speaker for you. And if it isn't, you ship it back to us. And this ensures actually that you can get a demo in your own listening room with your own electronics, good time and peace to enjoy the speaker and to figure out, is this the right speaker for me?
The Silverback Listening Team. Elite listeners for nature preservation. Join them on the electronic webs. Patreon.com/Stjernholm Reviews.
When presenting the 65 to our most experienced team members, Lars and Sebastian, the initial reaction was immediately positive.
I can't find anything to complain about. It's just up there with some of the best I've heard, and especially given the price range, it's impressive.
And also, if you look at twice, triple the price, I still think this is a really, really terrific speaker.
This made me wonder if the speaker-room interaction could account for the difference, or if this was a coincidence. Sebastian did a session in this room, but confirmed the same positive experience right away.
With the room perfect, everything just fell into place and sounds delicious. I mean, this is a speaker you can just set up. Maybe you can trigger a little bit in the bass because they can be overwhelming if you push them too much up to the front wall. But if you use a little EQ to tame that, it just sounds sweet. Deep, tight bass, clear mid-range, extended heights, nice soundstage, great dynamics. I mean, what's not to like? But what I've heard now, I just think it's very easy, very listenable, and I could sit here for hours and just relax, and I really like them. Yeah, and especially for the price, it's a bargain.
That's why you're the dog.
I must say they win over time. This they do fantastically. Huge soundscape. And I also have a weakness for Jonas Feld, entirely different. But damn, this is good.
Our different sound profiles and audiophile experience really shine through with a speaker like the 65s here. It doesn't use theatrics to demand your short-term attention. The members typically only sample each speaker for a few hours total, while I get to live with them for an extended period of time, sometimes for months. In this case, the CLC 65 has just grown and grown on me, getting better and better as each day passes. The guys on the team that are all about correct full frequency response, imaging and dynamics adored them right away, while Tim Harris just loves his speakers to entertain on a big scale with snap, slam, crackle and pop, if not being used as sound mixing tools. Carsten, on the other hand, likes some coloring and full-bodied warmth with a bit of sugar coating on top, while Patricia, well, she's basically looking for the feels that you get inside a classical orchestra or jazz club. The absolute realism and scale. The CLC 65 is a power monitor for the audiophile, chasing low distortion purity in a attractive stand-mounted package.
It's very clean and, yeah, easy to listen to.
Ideal for medium rooms where fatigue-free, genre-agnostic playback is wanted.
Everything was just clear and precise, soundstage big and deep and wide. Good dynamics, crystal clear highs.
It's the antidote to hype, you can say, with incredible deep bass.
Du hører ting, som du ikke hører på andre højtalere.
Effortless dynamics and neutral truth that grows really addictive.
Having that kind of dynamic at the same time as you get the full resolution and precision in the soundstage. The dynamics you get is really amazing.
It's sold direct from the factory with a 30-day return policy.
You fiddle around and you make sure that this is the right speaker for you. And if it isn't, you ship it back to us.
It looks like a first-shot home run for the Copenhagen Loudspeaker Company, to be honest. If you happen to try it out, please share your experience with others in the comments under this video. Thank you so much for watching Schoenholm Reviews. Support us by hitting that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share relevant reviews with your buddies on social media and forums. It all helps our mission of making hi-fi great again and nature preservation. Hang on for the pros and the cons and the review team score. Until next time, remember that the truth always comes clean when we just listen. Thank you for watching.